Hi, my name is Ryan Madsen, and I teach Science, Technology, and Leadership at Virtual Academy. With this presentation, I want to take you through some of the resources that I provide to help students succeed in my classes. And I want to underscore one important thing, and that is that I truly believe that every student can succeed. And my goal, my responsibility is to empower those students for success and help them in reaching their goals. The other side of that, of course, is that students will need to bring responsibility. That responsibility to engage, ask questions, and ensure that they are taking ownership of that learning process. And I believe with that combination, there's no student in any of my classes who cannot succeed. Let me take you through just a quick presentation here. First of all, here is my contact information, and this is a picture of doing one of the things I love. One of the things great about the foothills here is I love to ski. This is a picture of my family. My kids are in junior high and elementary school, and my wife is a teacher at Oak Ridge. She teaches Japanese. One of the first tips for success, if you might say, or one of the first resources is just being present. And I know that's a little bit of a funny thing to say because we are a hybrid school. But when I say present, I mean there's a lot of different ways that we have for students to be present. One of those ways is for students to just be in class, which actually is very, very effective. Most students have not developed the skills to be able to apply the discipline to complete work independently and to get the help they need independently. And so being in class is one of the best ways to do that. And then when they build that responsibility, the great thing is our school gives that opportunity for that flexibility on location. Now, if they are not in school on a certain day, then I strongly encourage that they join by Zoom. Every single day we have a Zoom, and students can participate and be involved in the discussion. And then also, even if they are not able to join by Zoom, we also have recordings. Now, the recordings, if your students say this, they're probably correct. We have had a few technical issues, but we're trying to get those resolved. And so what the goal is that every single day, there's a recording of the class that the students can watch as well. So we have those three ways, and I would say that it goes in that order. If they can be present in class physically, that's going to be the best scenario. Zoom live will be absolutely the second best scenario. And if for some reason those two cannot work, such as if a student is doing an internship, then that third option of watching the recording would be the best one to draw upon. Okay, another great opportunity we have at Virtual Academy is in Mondays. This is something that we discussed as teachers, and we felt like one of the challenges was that, and you see this at every school, we feel like we have to get through things and we're not able to give the individualized help to the students who need it most. And so that's kind of what we've done with Mondays. Now, Mondays will have an assignment that the students are still expected to work on and complete, but that assignment can be done asynchronously, meaning the students can access it and do it fully independently, and they aren't required to join a Zoom on that day. Now, the reason that we do this is so that then students who need extra assistance, whether it's making up tests, whether it's help on an assignment, technical support, whatever it is, that whatever barriers a student is facing, Mondays are the ideal day to be able to address those issues and get the help that they need. So I'll be able to, in my class, I might have in some classes only a few students, and it becomes a perfect opportunity to give that individualized help and tutoring or whatever it might be that we can do on those days. Now, just to also note, even if a student is fully caught up, they're still absolutely welcome to be here on Mondays. If it's a place where they can study effectively, or if they just want some extra assistance or just have some questions, it's a really, really perfect opportunity to do that. A couple of other things, and I'm going to move a little faster because I think that Mrs. Redkey limited us to, I think, 6 minutes, so I've got about 2 minutes left. So one thing that that's really important to know is that Canvas is kind of where everything is. It's the source of truth, in a sense, for my class. If a student's wondering, when is this due? It's always going to be the due date that they will find in Canvas. So I strongly recommend that every parent go on and they pair with their student. And I think most parents have done this, but if you haven't done it, please contact me and I'll tell you how to do it, how to pair with your students so you can see their deadlines, you can see their workload, and it really helps with planning as a family so that you know that they're keeping up and you're able to support them in completing the work that they need to. Okay, one thing also to note is when it comes to grade weighting, this is something to be aware of, that not every single point has the same value. For tests and projects, it's about 70%, while labs and assignments is about 30%. The reason I do it this way is because I want assignments to be an opportunity where students can make mistakes. They can look at it more from a standpoint of improvement. Labs kind of are the same way. They're more exploratory. And then the opportunity to demonstrate that you've mastered things will come in the tests and projects. Also, remind.com is really important to have. This is where I send out short notes. For example, remember that tomorrow we're going to be doing rocket launches or whatever else it might be, but it's a way to help students know some of the things that we have going on and help them to be prepared. This is something that is a little bit on the side, and I actually see students improving at this a lot, but I do encourage students that when they study, that they study in a very focused manner. And I encourage them to focus on one thing at a time. And so turn off phones, turn off Netflix, turn off sometimes even music, and just focus on the studying. And then when you've studied for 25 minutes, then take a break and do all of those things. And that tends to be a good balance. Lab days are really important. These are our mandatory days. 1 day a week, and it's really critical that students are there on those days. So please, parents, when you're scheduling doctor's appointments or different events, if at all possible, please try to avoid scheduling those on the mandatory days. And so please ask your students which days are mandatory. And if the students can be there, that is really, really important, because making those days up can be very challenging and students can feel lost. And that's not to say, obviously, if your student is sick, we understand and we'll make things work. But in other cases, if students can be there, that will be very much that will truly support their success and make it that process much easier. We also have in my class retakes. Retakes are something on every test. There will be some way that students can recover some of the points that they missed. Okay, and so the retakes generally are going to be a second test that is similar but not exactly the same as the first test. And students are required to take responsibility to schedule a retake at a time that's not class time. So they could come in during a study hall. If a study hall doesn't work, I can meet them immediately before or immediately after school on certain days. But they need to schedule that to come in within 1 week of the test. I look at the retakes as a safety net. They are not there to use strategically, and that's why on the retakes, students can only get a maximum that's not a full 100%. It's a little bit less because I want students to go for preparing for the first test, but then if things don't go well, then they have this safety net to be able to sort of get back on track. Turning assignments in online is really important. This is the great opportunity of this, is that students always keep a copy of the assignment, and then they can save that for future studying. And then the last thing I want to just emphasize is that anytime students have questions, please, or parents, please send me a note in Remind or through email, and I will be happy to help. I look at our school and our classes as a partnership as we work towards success for students, and both in their academics as well as their future careers. Thank you, and I look forward to working with you this year.